Economics often assumes that businesses are greedy. They want to squeeze out every last drop of profit. This makes intuitive sense. More money means more options, more security, and more power. This pursuit of maximum profit is the classic way to think about business objectives. Imagine a lemonade stand on a hot day. The goal is simple. Sell as much lemonade as possible at the highest price people are willing to pay. Every cup sold brings in revenue. Subtract the cost of lemons, sugar, and cups, and you've got profit. Economists use graphs to visualize this. They plot the quantity of lemonade sold against the price. The shape of the resulting demand curve tells the lemonade entrepreneur how much they can charge before people start balking. But real-world businesses are more complex than lemonade stands. They face competition, regulations, and ever-changing customer tastes. The quest for maximum profit, while a powerful motivator, doesn't always tell the whole story. While profit is important, it's not the only thing businesses care about. Sometimes just staying afloat is the priority. Think of a new bakery in a competitive market. They might prioritize simply covering their costs and building a customer base, even if it means sacrificing short-term profit. Then there's profit-satisficing. This involves aiming for a decent level of profit that keeps stakeholders happy without necessarily going for the absolute maximum. Imagine a family-owned bookstore content with a steady income and a loyal clientele. They might not be maximizing profit, but they're achieving something equally valuable, a sustainable, enjoyable business. Another goal might be maximizing sales, even at the expense of some profit. Why? Increased market share can bring long-term benefits, like brand recognition and greater negotiating power with suppliers. Think of a tech startup offering deep discounts on a new app. They're playing the long game, aiming to attract users and build a dominant position in the market. Finally, some companies focus on maximizing revenue. This might seem similar to profit maximization, but there's a subtle difference. Revenue is simply the total amount of money coming in, while profit factors in costs. A company focused on revenue might prioritize growth and expansion, even if it means operating at a loss in the short term. Think of a streaming service offering a low introductory price to attract subscribers. They're betting on future profitability once they've achieved a critical mass of users. We all like to think we're getting a fair deal. But what if companies could charge different prices to different people for the same product or service? This is the essence of price discrimination, a strategy with three main flavors. First-degree price discrimination is the holy grail for sellers. It involves charging each customer the absolute maximum they're willing to pay. Imagine a skilled negotiator at a flea market, sizing up each customer and adjusting the price accordingly. Second-degree price discrimination involves charging different prices based on the quantity consumed. Think of bulk discounts at the grocery store or tiered pricing for cell phone data plans. The more you buy, the less you pay per unit. Third-degree price discrimination is perhaps the most common. It involves dividing customers into groups and charging different prices based on their perceived willingness to pay. Think of student discounts at the movies or senior citizen specials at restaurants. The logic is that certain groups are more price sensitive and need an extra incentive to buy. Price discrimination isn't as simple as charging whatever you want. Certain conditions need to be met for it to be effective. First, the seller needs some market power. They can't be operating in a perfectly competitive market where everyone charges the same price. Think of airlines with different fare classes or pharmaceutical companies with patented drugs. Second, the seller needs to be able to identify different customer segments with varying willingness to pay. This might involve analyzing demographics, purchase history, or even browsing behavior online. Third, the seller needs to prevent resale. If someone can buy a product at a lower price and resell it to someone charged a higher price, the whole system falls apart. This is why student IDs are checked at the movie theater and why airline tickets are non-transferable. Section 5. Winners and losers. The impact of price discrimination. Price discrimination is a controversial topic. On the one hand, it can allow companies to increase profits and potentially even offer lower prices to certain groups. Think of a museum offering discounted admission to students and seniors who might not be able to afford the full price. On the other hand, price discrimination can feel unfair to those who end up paying more. It can also lead to a loss of consumer surplus, as some people are priced out of the market altogether. Imagine a vital medication becoming unaffordable for some patients due to price discrimination. The debate over price discrimination often boils down to a trade-off between efficiency and equity. Is it more important to maximize profits and potentially benefit certain groups, or to ensure fair and equal access to goods and services? There's no easy answer, and the ethical implications of price discrimination continue to be debated. Section 6. Beyond the basics, limit pricing, predatory pricing, and following the leader. Price discrimination is just one pricing strategy among many. Let's explore a few others that companies use to gain an edge. Limit pricing involves setting prices low enough to discourage new competitors from entering the market. Think of a well-established retailer slashing prices to make it difficult for a new store to gain a foothold. Predatory pricing takes this a step further. It involves setting prices below cost with the intention of driving competitors out of business. Once the competition is gone, the predator can then raise prices and reap the rewards. This practice is illegal in many countries but can be difficult to prove. Then there's price leadership, where a dominant firm sets the price for a product or service, and other firms in the industry follow suit. Think of a major airline announcing a fare increase, followed by similar increases from its competitors. This can lead to price stability in the market, but also raises concerns about collusion and lack of competition. Section 7. The elasticity equation: how demand curves influence revenue. Understanding how much to charge for a product or service is crucial for any business. This is where the concept of price elasticity of demand comes in. It measures how sensitive the quantity demanded is to changes in price. If a small change in price leads to a large change in quantity demanded, we say demand is elastic. Think of luxury goods or non-essential items. People are more likely to cut back if the price goes up. In this case, lowering the price can actually lead to an increase in revenue, as the increase in quantity sold outweighs the decrease in price per unit. If a change in price leads to a small change in quantity demanded, we say demand is inelastic. Think of necessities like gasoline or medications. People will still buy them even if the price goes up. In this case, raising the price can lead to an increase in revenue, as the decrease in quantity sold is outweighed by the increase in price per unit. The shape of the demand curve tells us about price elasticity. A flatter demand curve indicates greater elasticity, while a steeper demand curve indicates greater inelasticity. Companies can use this information to optimize their pricing strategies and maximize revenue. Section 8. The big picture: why understanding firm behavior matters. The world of business is a complex ecosystem of competing objectives, strategies, and constraints. Understanding how firms make decisions about pricing, production, and competition is essential for anyone who wants to navigate this landscape. Whether you're an entrepreneur, an investor, a policymaker, or simply a curious consumer, a grasp of firm behavior can help you make sense of the forces shaping the marketplace. From the pursuit of profit to the complexities of pricing, from the challenges of competition to the ethical dilemmas of market power, the decisions made by firms have a profound impact on our lives. By delving into the motivations and strategies of businesses, we gain a deeper understanding of how the world works and how we can make informed choices in an increasingly interconnected global economy.